How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about Arena in Dark Souls 3. Basically, things I hope we get to see in Arena. One really big worry that I have that might be really bad for Arena once it comes out, and kind of what we know so far. So in case you guys don't know, in the new DLC that's supposed to come out here on October 25th, only 2 months away, we are supposed to be getting an arena, or what I think might be the new name for it, Immortal competition. Now, that could definitely be something that was translated, because I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all the info we have so far from the arena and the one screenshot that we have was from an interview from a Japanese magazine, and that's where we got that from. That might be a translation. It might totally have a completely different name once we get it ourselves. So, in case you guys never played Arena, it's basically, think of it as putting your summoning sign down and fighting another person one-on-one in a set map. It's very similar to just putting your summoning sign down or summoning somebody into your world in something like the Pontiff Arena, except it's, you know, actually more competitive. It's like an actual proper matchmaking system, which is cool, man. I'm really excited for this. I'm hoping to get some really good competition in that. It's mainly to try and help me get better, because, you know, the way you get better is you play against better people, and I definitely think the people in Arena are going to be harder competition. There's going to be a lot of really good people fighting in the arena. So a couple things that, in case you guys don't know, we don't really know much so far about the arena. We have one screenshot, and that is the screenshot you guys see right here. That is basically all we have at the moment showing the actual arena. A couple things that I want to note: there's 4 people. So we already know by that, either that was a mistake, which I really don't think it was, but I think that kind of confirms that if we get an arena, we're not only going to get a 1v1 arena, but we'll most likely get a 2v2 arena. Maybe it's only 2v2, but I really think there's also going to be that 1v1 aspect. You know, maybe we get 2 separate arenas for people who want to play with a little team. Maybe we even get 3v3 arena. I think having a 2v2 arena or a 3v3 arena changes things up completely, man. It will make some things a lot more fun. It'll make PvP completely fresh, like having another person to worry about, and then maybe having him die, and then you 1v2 against the other 2 guys. You know, there's always going to be some crazy situations happening in 2v2s and stuff like that, which has me really excited, because I definitely think it opens up a bunch of possibilities for new video series, which for me, that's absolutely perfect, man. I cannot wait for this arena. Even if it's just 1v1, it's still going to be a lot of fun, but I definitely think we're going to get at least a separate 2v2 arena. But another thing that's kind of obvious, but as you guys can tell from the image, the actual arena, the map they're playing in, is the Soul of Cinder boss room. Now, this is really exciting, because this leaves me to believe that there is a chance that other boss rooms will be playable from the arena, because I do think that we might get more than one map. I really doubt that we'll just have this one arena. I mean, it's like totally possible that it'll be just this one map. But it looks like the Soul of Cinder boss room, at least some type of version of it, which means that there is a possibility that some of the other maps, if we get more than one map in the arena, could as well be boss rooms. Imagine fighting in the Abyss Watchers boss rooms, or at least the boss rooms that are big and actually could handle multiple people fighting around in a big area. Imagine fighting in the Aldrich boss room as a 2v2 combo as Ornstein and Smo and going undefeated. God damn, that would be cool, man. That would be one of the things that had me most excited, but I really wouldn't hold my breath for that one. You know, I definitely think that it's most likely either going to be one room and then multiple different areas, like we had, like in Dark Souls 2, you know, we had multiple maps, and they were a little bit different. Each one was a little bit different. You know, we had the one on the bridge that you could easily fall, and you had to be very careful, except for the 2 areas on each side where there's like little platforms. You know, I definitely hope that we get a nice variety of maps, so it's like different terrains every single time. I definitely think it'll breathe new life into the whole PvP scene, because there's a lot of people that did move on, and that wasn't really in part to the PvP like arena and stuff. That was mainly because there was a lot of things broken, and maybe a lot of people didn't really enjoy stuff like invading or PvP as it is at the moment. You know, there are things that need fixing, but I really doubt that we're gonna get like a huge patch that'll fix a bunch of stuff. Like poise is one of the things that a lot of people want to see. I wouldn't mind poise, but I wouldn't want some extreme poise like we had in Dark Souls 1. That was fucking ridiculous. But I definitely think that you know what? No getting into poise. Let's just move on. I just think I'm very excited, or I know I'm very excited about possibly playing on multiple boss rooms for this arena. Damn, that would be cool. But here is one thing that has me really worried about Arena, and kind of hoping that, it's not true, but I honestly, the way things look at the moment, it seems like they might be that way. So obviously Dark Souls 3 introduced the new focus point system that weren't in any of the previous games. When we had Arena in Dark Souls 2, when people had spells, they just had a certain number of spells that they could use, or a certain number of pyromancies that they could use, and then that was it. They didn't have a specific blue focus point meter that you could just immediately refill with an Ashen Estus flask. Meaning that once we get Arena in Dark Souls 3, that's obviously going to be a big part of it. There's going to be a huge disadvantage for mages and pyromancers if they can't just refill and continuously use their pyromancies and their spells. So one thing that I think we're going to end up having in the Dark Souls 3 Arena is healing. That kind of blows, man, because it's basically going to be the exact same thing that we have now, people who just heal. And Dark Souls 3, or I apologize, Dark Souls 2 actually did have healing in the beginning when their Arena actually started. When Dark Souls 2 came out, they eventually removed it because, obviously Arena's supposed to be this competitive play. People who want to have a more competitive match, they go and play in the Arena. There's no healing, there's just a duel. That is what happens, and I definitely think that considering we have such a huge part of the game that relies upon this blue focus meter that can actually just be refilled with the Ashen Estus flask, unless they have a system where you could only take in Ashen Estus flask so you could continuously use it to use your weapon arts and your spells and your pyromancies and stuff, which I really don't know if they would do that. I definitely think that at least in the beginning they're going to end up having regular Estus and Ashen Estus. It's just going to be the exact same thing that we have now, except in a specific match with set matchmaking stuff. I really hope that it's not that way. If anything, I think it would be okay if they had a system where just Ashen Estus are allowed inside, because then, people wouldn't be able to just chug Estus. It would be the exact same thing that we have now. I want a good duel, nice honorable duel. People don't want honorable duels. That's totally fine. This is how I have fun. So it's something that we definitely have to keep an eye on. It might be something that we end up seeing. I don't know if they would change it if it comes out that way, but I would be kind of cool and okay with the system where only Ashen is allowed inside the Arena. But then you have one of those situations where you could have pyromancers and mages who literally just sit in the back of the Arena shooting spells, throwing their really powerful pyromancies right at you, continuously chugging their Ashen Estus, and not to mention people who would spam the shit out of unparryable weapon arts, like something like the Sellsword Spin. Damn, that would be annoying if that ends up happening, man. I really hope that they have some type of system implemented where possibly, I don't know what they would do, honestly. Maybe you guys have some ideas. Honestly, just leave them in the comments what you guys think would be fair in this situation, because I honestly think the best situation would be no Estus at all. But then, the pyromancers and the mages would complain because they obviously would have less health than the people who rely on something like a strength or a dexterity build or something like that. I don't know, I definitely think it would have to be sorted out in some way. But a couple other things that I really hope that we do get to see is improved matchmaking so that connection takes priority over something like skill, something like that, because the connection can be real bad whenever you just put your summoning sign down and somebody summon somebody into your world. You can get matched up with somebody who's really far away, and that can be really annoying because connection is really important. Stuff like Phantom range is so bad whenever there's really bad connection. So I hope we get something improved when it comes to that. Another thing that is kind of small but I think would be pretty cool would be something like a tier system, although that kind of contradicts with the connection thing. But I think having a tier system where there's multiple tiers. There's people in the bottom who maybe are newer to the game and just want to play PvP against some people of their own skill level who are maybe not so great. People in the middle, I would say I'm probably maybe a little bit above average. And then people play against people who are basically in the same skill range as you, so you continuously move up. Something like in Dark Souls 2, whenever you would see somebody who had the red aura, you would immediately be like, oh, okay, this is going to be a serious game. This guy has probably played a decent amount of games or is really good. So, having something like that I think would be really cool. But I don't know, guys, like, seriously, I'm really excited about Arena. Imagine playing in this Arena something filled with dead demons everywhere, just a smaller condensed version, because if it gets too big, it'll be really intense, and there could be people just trolling who run away and hide or something like that. You know, it could be something dumb like that. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave you with the rest of this boss fight. This is from a really long time ago, by the way, but like I said, definitely let me know, are you guys excited about Arena? Are you guys going to be playing Arena more than actual just putting your summoning sign down or summoning people into your world? Because I don't know at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to end up moving over stuff like Pick My Weapon, my PvP series to Arena. But definitely a lot of stuff is going to come out of Arena, you know, especially if there's 2v2. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, everybody.